It is the Riot Podcast.
How do you think we did? Time-wise. Remember we were supposed to work at that?
Couple long breaks in there.
But I feel like it's not overall as long.
Couple long breaks in there. And
if not, we'll keep working on it.
I might really be overestimating what in our show is worth listening to because I saved an awful lot of it out.
Well, you guys hopefully enjoy this.
What do you think? Maybe we'll take out the women be talking bit. We'll just get rid of that.
No, I think you need to. I don't think you should get away with not having that shared.
Oh, you mean I need accountability for that?
Accountability with that. If not, now I guess. We were talking about the Mulan trailer a bit, which if you guys saw that, it was trending.
Listen, I probably just got too honest, and I'm sorry
You're very tired.
I'm so tired. I'm sorry if I offended. I've been thinking about it. Doesn't mean it's right.
No one seemed offended.
But, no, but I mean, everybody else was asleep, so
fine.
Might not play as well in the daylight.
Well, enjoy this podcast today. It does feature a lot of other good stuff.
Yeah, we talk about how your barbecue is killing us all, the end of humanity, tales from the wedding that Nikki and I went to over the weekend, selling your bath water,
and how you
fish.
can make some money with that. Well, the fish thing is not associated with the bath water. That was a whiskey thing, right?
Yes, it's a whiskey thing.
Yeah, so that's something going on in Kentucky.
The Bluebell liquor, Captain Marvel, Dry July. It's a lot there.
Okay.
So you guys enjoyed today's podcast.
Thank you so much for listening.
I'm going to go lay down on the floor for a while.
Again?
I'm not even making it up.
Fall asleep.
I seriously am having a hard time keeping my eyes open right now.
Well, get some more coffee.
I am.
Drink it while laying down. See if that's possible. And
I'll figure it out.
I think your boss will really get a good look at how tired you are if he sees that happen.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Have a great day.
Bye.
If it's louder than it has to be and way worse than it has any right to be, it must be the worst of the riot. On Radio U.
Last night, me and Nikki went to a wedding.
We did. I was the guest. You were the DJ.
I was the DJ. And, man, it holds my personal record as the single hottest wedding I've ever been a part of.
I don't know how you did that. I mean, you just had to work more, and I know you were there longer in the heat, but it was hot.
Oh, yeah. I loved, there's some people that walked in like, it's hot. I can't stand being in here. And I was like, it's cool. I've just been in here doing manual labor for an hour and a half.
Like you actually had to do stuff.
Oh, my gosh. It was so hot. And it was in a greenhouse. So it was like, it's 85. And they were like, you know what? It's not hot enough.
No, I remember let's move it inside. It was so hot outside. And I mean, it was almost 90. It was probably like 86 or 87. And then went into the greenhouse and you were roasting outside. Go into the greenhouse, spend about 15, 20 minutes. Feel like you're going to die. I went back out of the greenhouse. It was so much colder.
It felt so nice outside.
I was chilled. I was like, wait a minute, it's still 86, 87 out here. But yet it was so humid in the greenhouse. It was something.
It was amazing. Amazing. I took 3 changes of clothes with me.
Sure.
Because I just when I had the clothes that I set up in, then I had clothes for the wedding, and then and these are just if you want to know, under things, undershirts,
sure,
and stuff.
The first layer.
Yes, and I replaced that layer 2 or 3 times because I was like, I'm going to be soaking wet, and I don't want to spend 7 hours soaking wet.
In your sweat.
I just kept disappearing and changing out of stuff, and man, it's crazy. It was the hottest wedding I've ever done. The other thing, probably every wedding has characters, you all do, and I did not experience this last night, but some of the characters, the archetypes I get, like the bossy bridesmaid, she comes over to tell you the way things are going to be, but she's obviously not in charge, but she thinks she's in charge.
Sure.
She's one of my favorite archetypes.
But you didn't get that?
No. She didn't show up last night, though I definitely go to weddings where she does.
Zoe DJs a lot of weddings where you're like, I would love Radio U to be at and so you can have us be at a wedding.
But the one I saw last night is one that I almost never see, but the absolute oldest person there. She obviously was. She was a generation older than the grandparents or whatever. She came over and looked at me and was like, I don't like how loud the music is or the music.
Oh, you didn't pick it?
And I was just like,
okay.
I was like, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So then she sat down and I'm not kidding you. I swear to you this is true. She glared at me just the whole rest of the night.
Time?
I mean, I watched her, like, every once in a while, you could feel someone look at you. I'd look up, and I would look at her, and it was like she stretched her frown a little more
You were the target.
And then finally, she got up. There was, like, a lounge area by the bathroom. She got up, went and sat by in the lounge area there, and I had to go to the bathroom, and it was like she was just there waiting on me. Just staring. She stared at me as I walked down the hall. She stared at me as I went into the bathroom.
That's how she coped because it was so hot. Maybe that was it. She just had to focus her anger at you.
It's fine. Like, you know what? You're there. And then there was another guy. Every time I open up the mic, you know, the little mouth hand?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just out there. He was out there making fun of me going, blah, 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 blah.
Do you guys understand how hard it is to put yourself out there to DJ these things?
You know what? I almost just went over and yes, sir, over here.
Yes, you come on up.
Come on up, sir. Come on.
I want you to sit next to this lady.
I'm putting together a table of fans over here.
Now you're like, oh, it's not such a big deal. When it's like 90 out, it is. It's a lot.
It was something, but like all that being said, I still had a good time.
Good.
I mean, I went home more tired than I think I've ever been, but
I think you need to hydrate today because I bet you sweated out a lot.
I took a cooler with ice and water.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think water's enough. I know they're like, water's enough. No, it's not. You need something. You need electrolytes. That's what you need today. Stat.
Big time.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
If you're wondering, no, I still haven't seen Spider-Man.
No, not yet.
No, and I still haven't finished Stranger Things 3 yet either.
All right. So, well, we're just really on top of all the cool things, aren't we?
I'm just saying, like, hate away. It's fine.
Did you get any more into Stranger Things?
3 episodes.
Total or 3 more?
3 total.
I didn't think I thought it was more than 8.
It's 8.
But
did you finish it?
No, I am 4 or 5 in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's good so far.
Yeah.
Just got a little slow. I mean, there was the wedding yesterday. It's like I can't watch anymore. I'm too tired.
Yeah. So that being said, over the weekend, a little box office news here. Spider-Man Far From Home. If you count the fact that it came out on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It gets Tuesday through Sunday, not just weekend numbers.
So it's a little bit more.
$185 million. So it made back its budget, reportedly about $160 million. But its weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, $93 million.
Okay.
And number 2, Toy Story 4.
I saw that on Saturday.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh. Did you cry all day?
No. Yeah, I'll tell you not to like continue with the Keanu Reeves thing, but he makes the movie. His part's great. Outside that, little iffy on the ending, little much. But
what do you mean by a little much? Is it more emotional than them all being thrown into the fiery furnace on their way to death?
It does not have the same, I feel, depth to it like the other ones.
Okay.
It was good. It's just I don't like with movies lately. I feel like you're sitting there and you're being talked to for so long about one way, like one stand that you're taking, and then they change it in the last like 60 seconds, and that's your ending.
Yeah.
I just wish the endings had a little bit more like flushing it out.
Okay.
But Key and Peele were there in it. That was a good addition.
Yeah. That
and Keanu Reeves was like, we're seeing it for that.
They should have led with that.
Mm-hmm.
That interests me.
But see, that made it seem less like the other Toy Story movies.
Okay.
Because you're like, here's some very popular people, and they brought a different feel to it.
Yeah, sure.
It's not like it was a negative feel, it was just a different feel.
Yeah, okay.
So it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't. It's not like the others.
Rounding out your top 5, yesterday at number 3, Annabelle Comes Home at number 4.
Doesn't that sound nice?
There's just something about, I don't know. And then Aladdin at 5. So, and then I think, is it Lion King week?
Maybe.
I think it is. I think it comes out maybe. No. That's next weekend. This week you get Hagelstoff.
Great.
I don't know what comes out on Friday this week, but I do know this. That the box office would really appreciate it if you'd go ahead and maybe
go see something.
Maybe you could skip lunch and save some money there, and then you could give the money to the box office.
Hopefully you can raise enough money to see as many movies this week as possible.
I gotta get to Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You should.
I don't know. Whatever.
But you know yourself and your schedule.
Whatever.
You're on vacation at the end of the week. Like you got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on Radio U.
How many followers do you have on social media right now?
Are we talking combined or what?
Actually, that's actually a really good question.
Is it all the sites or just one particular one?
I think it might actually be just one place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, this does not technically affect us here in the United States, but in the UK, they have the Advertising Standards Agency.
Yes.
Which would be kind of like the FTC here or like a couple other things. But it's a government thing, and they're the ones that decide, like, hey, is this an ad or not an ad?
They're really cracking down. It's been a couple of months where they really went after a couple of what you call like influencers.
Yep.
For posting things and not. So now anytime I see anything from someone who's British, basically,
right.
There's gifted, there's whatever, like it's all over it now because they're really cracking down.
Mm-hmm. Well, they, let's see. There was a case with a woman named Sarah Willocks Knott. I don't know who she is, but she is on Instagram. Mm-hmm. She is British, and they were like, hey, you're posting ads without notifying. And she's like, oh, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not an influencer. I'm not whatever. Well, they have officially set the number.
To make it if you are one?
30,000.
30,000 people, you have to at least have those for followers?
If you've got 30,000 followers, at least in the UK, you are now officially considered a celebrity.
And they'll really be watching you.
It's real.
Even though, I mean, you might have more people looking at your stuff just because.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't mean everybody's following you.
Yeah, but if you have 30,000
followers, then you do count on this.
So the good news is, still not a celebrity. So, sponsors, free stuff.
You can do all that you want.
Hook me up. I don't have to tell anybody.
Now, if you look back at when this really came to a boiling point for a lot of the influencers there, they were just saying how, you have a lot of people that are watching you, doing what you do, following what you do, and they don't know that what you're doing, someone gave you or paid you to do.
Right.
So it's not a bad thing for us as followers to really be able to see, pull back the curtain.
Yeah.
That most of the stuff, like there's this one person I see on Instagram, literally they only do things that are sponsored. And now you really can tell.
Oh, dude, okay, this is going to shock you. Instagram's not real.
Yeah, it's not. That life is not real.
Everybody thinks it's real, but it's not. I was watching people last night. It's totally customary at a wedding for the bride and groom to be out getting their photos taken.
Yeah.
Here was something I had never seen. So many people using the grounds to take pictures of themselves all over. And I was just like, man, you guys are all here at a wedding posing for pictures of yourself.
But as long as they weren't using the wedding photographer.
They weren't. They were using their phones, but I was just like, it's kind of weird. But it's fine. If that's what you want to do, it's fine.
Again, if you're over there, all you got to look for is the the hashtag or the gifted usually is what they use.
30,000
followers
is all it takes. Now, I mean, in the U.S., maybe the number's higher. I mean, we don't have that number, I don't believe.
They haven't started cracking down here as much as you think they would have.
30,000. Man, I'm on my way.
Are people really still listening to The Riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The Riot, Radio U.
Okay. This will not be a popular opinion, but I've been sitting on it for a while. And
you just got to get it out.
Since I'm tired, this is a great time for me to just say it. So Nikki and I just watched the Mulan trailer.
Yeah.
And, of course, I saw Aladdin this summer. What kind of a world do we live in where I've seen Aladdin and not Spider-Man? I don't know.
This has been a difficult summer, okay? You got a lot going on.
Watching Aladdin and then watching, the kind of turn and tone of recent actual Disney movie releases. I feel like one of the biggest traits that we're seeing out of the females in these movies are, one, they almost all get a song in which they talk about how everyone just wants me to be quiet. Everybody just wants me to be quiet and do what I'm told. And
was that in Aladdin?
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's the thought I have is that all these movies have this song or this moment where this female character is just like, I want someone to listen to me. My voice is not heard. And, okay, again, this will not be a popular opinion, but I just want you to know, and Nikki, don't get too mad at me for this, but the women in my life, I hear from them more than any other people in my life. And here these women are in these movies.
Are they singing it?
I'm not heard. I'm not whatever. And I'm like, dang, girl, listen. Honestly, I probably hear from women 3 to 4 times more than I hear from men. So, this song that you're singing about nobody listening, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, those are movies set in a different time.
And so my thought was, but movies are in a lot of ways, just like a song, they're a modern expression. They're putting it in the past, but they're trying to talk about right now.
Well, the current stuff, sure.
And so I look at these movies, and maybe I'm getting it all wrong, but I feel there's just this huge thing of I'm not heard. I'm not heard. I'm not heard. Ladies, you're so heard. Oh my gosh. So much talking.
Don't say the oh my gosh and so much talking, because it still doesn't mean that you're feeling that you've been heard.
That's
it.
Boom, boom, boom. That's it. That's the next thing I was going to say. What these songs should be, it's not that I'm not heard, it's that I don't feel heard.
Yeah.
Because that's the most, guys, listen, it's the most important thing you can do on a date or in any kind of relationship with a girl. It doesn't matter if you've heard every word and you could actually write it down and even translate it into other languages. It doesn't matter unless she feels heard.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, if she feels heard, you don't even have to know what she said. As long as she feels heard, it doesn't even matter.
That's all you gotta do.
What she's saying doesn't matter. And so I would just for these movies, can we stop? Women have to be silent, be silent, be silent. No, women are talking. Women be talking. So let's turn it into songs about not feeling heard.
I don't think that works as well. Not in the storyline.
But it's more real.
Yeah, it doesn't give them I don't know.
It's more.
Women be talking. Is that what we're doing today? Is that what we're throwing out there?
I'm just telling you.
I know you are, and I know what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay.
You're not wrong.
Again, I
just
know.
Watch how you're saying it.
I know. See,
very fine line.
It's so countercultural that it's offensive because I'm not supposed to think that way. I'm supposed to go, women should be talking. They already are.
Okay.
Right?
And that was what Obi wanted to say. That's it.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
And you're like, he's mean. I'm not mean at all.
It helps so that you can understand what is actually going on.
AKA, I need to feel heard.
Yes.
That's at the core of this. We are saying no one's listening to me, but what we mean is I don't feel heard.
And we got that from watching the Mulan trailer this morning.
Well, Nikki, Mulan needs to be quiet.
I thought the trailer looked really good.
Yes, so she learns to speak a language that men can understand, violence. Mm-hmm. But it's fine.
So is that a yes or a no to the movie?
I think the trailer looks fantastic.
I think it looks really good.
I do too. I think Mulan looks great.
The Aladdin debacle. So.
Well, Aladdin was a good movie, but the trailer was terrible. Yeah, they actually have built a fantastic trailer.
Which means the movie should be pretty bad.
We'll see, right?
If that's how it goes.
We'll see.
You're listening to a morning show hosted by two people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, RadioU.
You know, I am going on vacation at the end of the week, and after what I just said, some of you are like, good.
Could you schedule it earlier?
Maybe you should just leave then.
No, he's going to be gone starting on Friday.
I am. And you know, Nikki, I'm looking for something to read while I'm gone.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the book I'm looking for. The Doomsday Calculation.
Boy, doesn't that just sound like a nice light beach read? Doesn't it?
And you know, that's where I'm going to be.
Uh-huh.
Right there on the beach.
Or just, a casual, calm book to read while you're on the airplane.
Well, you know, the Doomsday... Yes. Hey, everybody. I'm calculating Doomsday.
You're
Aren't
the
you
guy
glad?
who's reading the Doomsday Book on the plane where everybody's, a little agitated.
That sounds great. Yay.
They're going to all want to sit next to you.
Can I sit next to the Doomsday guy? Actually, no one would know. It would be on my Kindle.
Still.
So they would think I was really nice, and then I'd lean over and be like, human life's about to end, right?
Here, read this.
Would you like to read my pamphlet on the end of the world?
It's on my Kindle.
Here you go. So William Poundstone is a Princeton University astrophysicist. And, excuse me, he is not, but he is using the mathematical approach of a Princeton University astrophysicist named J. Richard Gott III. Gott came out with his particular equation in 1993. And he has taken this equation, he's plugged in the numbers, and he says, how do you get a book out of this? He says there's a 50% chance.
Oh, come on, that doomsday?
That human life dies off in 760 years.
First off, the chances I would think could be greater and less years.
Well,
like, are we talking like 700 days? Not 700 years.
Well, 700 years. And the great thing about that is
it would have ended anyways.
Well, and you can write that book and nobody's going to be around to tell you if you were right or wrong.
No one can call you on it later.
even if human society makes it for millions more years, it won't matter because everybody alive right now, and I'm sorry, this is dark, but we'll all be dead in 700 years.
It's just a given.
All of us. Every single person listening right now.
There's a chance. It's like, nope, not a chance at all.
Nope, unless you do one of those things where they freeze your head and someone remembers to do it.
And who has that in their budget?
Yeah.
So we're not doing that.
So that's the deal. Now,
it feels like his book or whatever is kind of like a scam.
Kind of. Now, that's not the only thing it's about. Let me give you the whole title. The Doomsday Calculation, how an equation that predicts the future is transforming everything we know about life and the universe. So, just to be clear, it's
not just about that, it's everything.
Everything we know is being transformed by math.
Don't you want to read something better or fun? Like, even all your book series that have all the maps in the beginning?
Yeah.
Read one of those.
You know what I'm reading right now is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Ooh.
I've never read that before.
That's a classic.
Yeah, so reading...
Does that fall under the free category, too?
Oh, yeah.
One of those?
I mean, instead of $15.99...
You're reading a free book.
And here's a little power tip, readers. If you do any kind of ebook reading and you're reading a classic, just make sure you search the name of the classic followed by the word free. Because there are so many people out there that are trying to sell you the free book.
When you don't realize it is free.
It's amazing.
If not for the Doomsday one, maybe that's, one of the ones where you go with the Audible company too. Like, I want to hear someone read that book to me.
Man, who can afford Audible? That's like $40 a book.
Yeah, but all the free deals. Like, imagine that's the one book that you pick. Audible will be like, why did you pick that one?
You're on a road trip with friends. Like, guys.
Listen.
I found something for us to listen to. Are you ready? It's going to be awesome.
Well, Peter, thanks for texting. Looks like he is currently going through all the Stephen King novels. So,
okay.
A little light reading there, right, too?
Well, you don't want to sleep on vacation.
Different type of doomsday.
We don't need it.
Why aren't we reading anything nicer for our vacations?
That's nice.
Well, yours seems a bit intense, too.
I guess. I don't know. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. If you got a good beach read for the riot, go ahead and text it in. 8772
You want
RadioU.
one of those Amish books or one of those things?
I never did read the sequel to Amish Vampires in Space.
Mm-hmm.
I never read the sequel.
You could do that, or is there a Star Trek one or a Star Wars one?
I'll tell you right now, Amish Vampires in Space is so much better than you think it is.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here, obviously. This is The Riot on RadioU.
So, of course, Nikki, we were talking books to read, and, as the Riot audience does, they started sounding off, and we appreciate it. Aaron wanted us to know that everything's free at the library.
Well, of course, but we mean like the classics, which you don't realize they're a part of the It's So Old, It's Free program. Yeah. That you shouldn't be paying for those anyways.
Jerome wants to know if we ever read the Warrior Cat series.
No, we dropped that.
Yeah.
Just seemed too intimidating to jump into a series that has like several hundred books.
Well, and I'm allergic to cats.
Well, it's too much for you, even through books.
Yeah. Chad wanted to know about that sequel to the Amish Vampires thing.
It's an actual book.
It is, and it's called Amish Zombies from Space. And if you want to know the truth, I'm giving a serious thought to reading that on my vacation. Is that going to be
your vacation book?
I'm telling you right now, Amish Vampires in Space is so much better than you think it's going to be. I'm
going to take your word on that.
It is weird what a good book it is. It's got character development, solid plotting. It like the main character is this Amish guy that his society is dying, and he has a way to call for help, and he has to take all right, are my values as an Amish person who doesn't use technology, is that more important than my society living? And he decides to save his society, and he's shunned for saving everybody. So while he's saving everybody, they're like, oh, Jacob, you're the worst.
Way to go, Jacob. Is that the only...
And it's whatever. And then in the meantime, they end up on a spaceship.
No, don't tell us anymore.
Am I ruining it?
Well, I want to be surprised for when we don't read it.
It's great. Let's see. Adam says to check out The Paradise War by a guy named Stephen Lawhead. He says that's really good. I've heard of Stephen Lawhead, though I've never read anything by him before.
That could be an option, too.
Let's see. What was the other one that I was sitting on? Oh, you know what I did get on sale the other day? Oh, man, I'll have to look it up. But it is a book that is, it's a Chinese book that's been translated into English that everybody says is
fantastic,
just amazing.
Did we talk about that
one? Maybe it's called The 3-Body Problem. And I literally, if you read anything about it, people just rant and rave about it being this amazing book.
But that wasn't the one where Amazon spent so much money on it. Do you remember that?
I do.
Because that was based off a Chinese book.
I think it might actually be that.
And it's some really well-known series, but yet it's not as popular here.
I think this might be what you're talking about. So I picked that up for $2 the other day, and I might read that as well.
Yeah.
It's called The 3-Body Problem.
I think it is, because we were like, why would it's a huge thing, just again, not as popular.
People say it's amazing, and word on the street is the translation is actually very good, because if you've ever tried to read a foreign novel.
Okay, just get through Stranger Things 3 before you go reading on the plane. So download the rest of the episodes.
Take it with me.
Bring your book in case you need it as a backup.
What about Amish Zombies in Space?
Maybe fill in with that.
Do you think Jacob has to use the thing again to save the society?
We have to see what happens.
We'll have to see.
You're picking the best books for it. Obi's on vacation starting Friday.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki and I finally got a chance to spend the weekend together like we always wanted to at a wedding last night. I appreciated somebody that saw in the photos. They were like, why did you put Obi in a corner?
Well, I don't know if they realized you were DJing the wedding. So you were in the back with the music and working on that.
Yeah, what that means is that I was one of the hired hands. That just goes to show you the different strata of society that Nikki and I go in. I have to work at the weddings that she gets invited to
a guest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're both there, but one of us is a servant and one of us is a guest.
If that's how you saw the night, then that's fine.
It's obviously the haves and have-nots, but one day we will rise up against our oppressors.
Did you get cake or did you get to eat?
I did get cake. I didn't eat. Of course, I was... boy, there's a whole thing there. But I was invited to eat, but a lot of times I don't like to eat while I'm working like that, just because, I don't know, I just don't. So I didn't. But boy, I saw the food and I kind of wish I would have, because it looked very good.
It was good.
It is really interesting. Okay. When you go to a wedding, if you've never done this before.
Which, can we all agree, normally no one wants to go to any weddings. But, you do every so often.
Uh-huh. And so there is this, if you've never had a chance, there's this whole other side to wedding, the people working the wedding.
Yeah.
One, there's this weird camaraderie among the people working. And two, I just want you to know, they are talking about you. I mean,
the guests.
Oh,
or the party.
Oh, yeah. Like the
Don't
amount.
say that. No one wants to know that.
You don't want to know?
That's pulling back the curtain too much.
You don't want the expose?
No, you just want to pretend that everybody's getting along and no one's saying anything bad about you.
No, they're keeping track of you. I've been to weddings where they're just like, oh, Bridezilla. That was not yesterday.
Oh, sure.
But then it's wild. Like they talk about you and want you to know that some of the people that are working the buffet line, they are the kindest, sweetest, most willing serving people I've met. I've seen people go above and beyond. Like I've seen people do amazing things for couples where, they're not getting paid any extra. They're just there and they have this attitude of like, you know what? This is their wedding and I want to make the day special. There are also dudes that are creepy. Like they're as creepy as you think they are. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm watching her. And you're like,
and the food.
I don't think that because we're in the same thing, like we're not. No,
don't tell me that.
No, you're gross. To one of them, I knew the people. I was like, she's like 15, right? And he was like, I don't even care. And I was like, you know what?
We're done. I'm going back to the table.
I'll be over here. Please don't come over here. Don't come over.
Oh, the stories he could tell.
Dude, for reals.
Which is why everybody's like, please write a book.
Yeah, I mean, it'd sell probably about 15 to 20 copies.
If you digitally, did that, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to physically print any books.
Or just read the pamphlet.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Look, face it, you're the one that's killing the earth.
You're not doing enough.
You're the problem. I have it right here. Researchers at the University of Manchester have discovered that a barbecue, like the one you had over the weekend, for 4, releases as much greenhouse gas as a 90-mile car trip.
Well, doesn't it cancel each other out if you don't go anywhere for the 4th of July? So, I didn't travel anywhere last week.
I didn't go anywhere, so...
Don't I deserve some of the travel time?
Yeah, okay, let's say I had a friend that went on a 360-mile car ride.
Yeah.
I released 1/4 the greenhouse gases that
did a lot less.
So, I mean, I'm congratulating myself.
Yeah, actually, you're saving something. That's what they're not telling you.
Yeah. So they say that the biggest part of the emissions is not from the coal or even the propane that you're burning.
Is it the barbecue sauce or?
It's the burger itself.
Is it?
When you roast it, it releases the gases.
Is it just hamburgers, or what if you're?
That's what they're talking about.
What if you're doing something else, like hot dogs, or?
Of course, the scientists are here for us, and they say maybe switching to some vegan alternatives, we're going to release less
of the gas
into the air. Yeah. See, Big Vegan paid for all this. Brought to you by the Impossible Burger.
Yeah, I know. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on? So then what's Eric's saying, since he's smoking for 6-8 hours?
I don't know.
Is that even worse?
Probably even worse.
What does that equate to for airplane or car travel?
I have no idea. That's as much as a round trip, cross-continental trip in an airplane.
But if it's balanced between him and I, we each are allowed to have so much greenhouse effect or whatever, should work out even.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it is. I mean, I have no idea what I'm talking about when I say this. I think the Earth can probably handle some greenhouse gases. It has some already. But, it's the driving your car and stuff.
We're not barbecuing or taking long trips every weekend. This is just the prime time for it.
I don't know. I'm taking a 90-mile trip a couple times a week because I'll tell you, this weekend I had 2 burgers.
Did you? Oh, because you're grilling?
No, I was eating on the go. But, whether I grill the burger or somebody grills it for me, hey, I'm killing the earth. And, of course, the cows. But then again, that cow that I killed for that burger is farting less. And they say that's a big methane factory over there.
I guess what we're saying is we just don't know what to do.
We
don't know what to make, how to make it, when to make it, or if we should even be in the car at all.
I don't know. Our Earth, I feel like the end game here is that we all realize Earth would be a lot healthier without us.
Yes, but what do we do? So what do we do with that?
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to be in my basement running the air conditioner.
How dare you?
Hey,
that's the worst.
That's what I need. I'll skip my burger for my air conditioner.
As long as we have the AC, that's all that matters.
I'm eating a carrot in a cold room.
See, it's about balance. You got to find some places that you can give and some places you can take.
Good call.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
You know, Nikki, we've talked about this before. And that is that you and I are just in the wrong industry.
You think so?
I do. I think we're in the wrong industry. I think that we should be out there doing something a little bit different. And here's a great example.
Maybe we were fine, but now it's time to move into. Maybe it's not like
we
didn't
make a mistake.
It's not
we didn't
us.
make a mistake.
It's just there's something else that we can do now too.
Nikki, I don't make mistakes. Just so we're clear.
I understand that.
Right. But I'm looking here, and I don't know that I necessarily want to get into names because I don't know that I want to promote it. Because we're going to be doing it. So I don't want to give somebody else credit. I mean, we're totally stealing the idea. But yeah, there is a popular streamer and Instagram model who over the weekend, I guess it was actually the middle of last week and we missed it. And thank you, Jerome, for letting us know about it. She's selling her bath water.
Ew. Are we saying bath salts or like water?
No, water.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a drug thing, but you mean like water.
She's selling her bath water. Now, I seriously doubt she's actually had a bath in this water. But
you never know.
You never know. She's selling her bath water, and I just want you to know I want to do that.
So how much are we getting for that?
So much money. Like some of it's on eBay for thousands of dollars.
No,
I don't know.
Is it actually getting that or?
I don't know.
Because you can put anything you want on eBay.
I know.
It's will someone buy it?
Well, yeah, they'll bid up, but will they actually pay it when it's over?
Ew.
And I don't know the answer. Yeah, okay.
I didn't think you could sell liquid or you can buy drinks on eBay.
You can buy whatever.
Well, they don't care. They're just happy you're using it.
And admittedly, like this is, blah, 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 more prurient interest, that word. And I get that. But, what if, I don't know, just casual people wanted to pick up some Obadiah bath water?
No.
Okay, for example, all right, last night I did that wedding.
It's gonna turn weird.
I sweated so much. I was filthy.
Yeah.
And then, I go home, take a bath, bottle up the water.
Why?
Ship it out.
Why even do that? You could have just wrung it into a glass bottle.
So you just want to cut straight to me selling my sweat?
That could also be an option.
I'll just tell you, yesterday I could have sold a few gallon jugs.
Because it was so hot.
Of my sweat, because it was so hot.
I just feel like that falls under the person who'd be buying it might possibly be...
Supply and demand, Nikki.
I don't know.
There's a demand out there for my bath water.
Strange.
And you know what? We're not using judgmental words here.
We can sometimes. I don't think it's wrong every so often to throw it out.
So what do you think? Okay, let's think an 8-ounce bottle of my bath water. What
Is
do you
that
think?
enough?
Well, yeah. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but yeah.
We don't want to pay too much for shipping. I thought someone would probably then buy it to bathe in it too.
So, yeah, but we could dilute it a little bit, right? Because, I mean, if you think about it, it's not like if you came and there I am in the bath and you're like, okay, this is like this part here is really bath water and this part is not as bath water. Once the water touches, it's all bath water.
I figured you take a bath and then someone's like you're ladling it in while you're in there instead of letting the water out.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Just taking bottled water or bottles and then just scooping it up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, and I mean, that would finally be a job where I feel like I'm doing what I want to do, and that is just sitting there. So, like, I just come in.
And you love baths.
I just come in. Yeah, and it's going to be a nice hot bath. And, like, you guys just pass me the bottles, and I'm passing them out.
And you could write off buying a bigger bathtub. Because technically then that's a business expense, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I could have a YouTube channel where it would be like bathtub thoughts.
Yeah, but
it can be like we can put the camera in such a place that it's not problematic.
There's no sensory. I just feel like whoever's buying it, like, are they drinking it? Are they bathing in it? Are they staring at it? I don't know if I'm comfortable.
Everything.
All of the above?
Yeah.
They take a little sip of it every day?
Yeah.
Medicinal?
Yes. It's to keep you healthy.
Keep you young.
It's a constitutional.
How did you live to 115? It's like, well, I drank this stranger's bathwater every day.
Aaron says you can't sell anything on eBay. Human body parts are a no-no. Well,
it's not human body parts, it's the water.
I'm glad to know that's true. Yeah, I'm glad to know that's true. And Jerome says, hey, she sold out.
No more bottled water?
He doesn't mean like she's a sellout. They're out of bath water. But the amazing thing about that bath water is it's so easy to make more.
Take another bath.
You know what? I'm in.
I'm going to pass on this, but I'll help you with the marketing.
We should sell some bath water on eBay. We should. Mm-mm. You don't want to do it?
No, I don't want to.
All right. Fine. Wait for the day.
I'm happy with what we're doing now.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Hey, guys, did you hear the word? It's National Video Game Day.
Oh, it is? Woo! Oh, you going to do a Obadiah Plays? Or I know you don't have a lot of time this week. I don't want to commit you to anything, but it is Video Game Day.
I do think that's a great idea. I also think that I'm barely keeping my head up right now.
So maybe it's not right for today, but if you find yourself with some free time, it might be worth it.
Well, you know what? The good news is that even if National Video Game Day falls through for me, there's National Video Games Day. That's September 12th.
You got some time on that to plan.
So, I mean, you know.
What's the difference? Is that the difference? Or I'm not supposed to call out on, like, what is it?
Don't ask questions, Nikki. You're not supposed to wonder things like that about
my
days.
bad.
Just like how there's National Donut Day and then there's National Donut Day, but one's spelled D-O-N-U-T and the other's D-O-U-G-H-N-U-T.
Completely different. My bad. So what is some of the, like, you get any deals today?
Well, you know what? Like, not exactly, but I did see, for what it's worth, that GameStop is doing, like, their big summer sale. So, but that's not related to National Video Game Day.
We also try our best not to go to GameStop, so I think that's most people.
Hey, they're selling Division 2 for $19.99.
Are they?
Yeah, I thought about getting that on PS4 finally, blah, 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 whatever. That's all I got, though. So, you know what? Today for National Video Game Day, you can play a video game and be like, this is public service.
Is the banks open? Not like we go to the bank, but is it open?
It's open.
Am I getting mail? Not like I get any mail, but...
I think so.
Okay. I didn't know, like, what type of day it was.
You know, Nikki, if you and I had a real job, I am sure that bank holidays and mail holidays count.
Who goes to the bank?
In the business world, they do.
Listen, I never touch my cash, so I never touch the money, and we don't mail anything, so I think we're good.
I'm just telling you, there are people somewhere, somehow, it matters.
It affects them.
Just not us. We aren't those people.
All right, well, today is that day.
National Video Game Day.
Maybe you'll see a deal or two somewhere on a game.
Get out there and get to spending and get to working.
You can, grill up the rest of the hot dogs that you didn't use last week. If you have hot dogs left.
Perfect.
You didn't know today was another holiday.
Man.
Use the fireworks up.
Yeah, please. It didn't sound like you used them all last night.
No, please use the rest up today. It's the perfect chance.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported RadioU.
The gates of heaven. They're at a temple in Bali. So if you want to go to heaven, you just have to go to Bali and you walk right through the gates. Done. So welcome to heaven, people.
I don't think that's it.
That's just something they say. It's not.
Nothing.
It's not real.
Narrow is the way. If you're going to Bali.
Hey, you know what? Taking a look at this photo, it looks like you could get 3 people in at a time.
Can you imagine? Like nowadays, a lot of people travel, and when you travel, you want to document it in a way that looks great on Instagram.
No, I was going to say document in a way that makes as many people jealous as possible.
And get you as many followers as possible. So, yes, especially in Bali, a lot of people go there for these gram destinations.
Uh-huh. Gramstinations?
Gramstinations, yes. That's what you're going and traveling for. So you spend a lot of money and you want to get something back besides the memories for your trip.
You're there for the photo.
You're there for the photo.
That's it.
And that's what this is. It's not a temple, but it's like two stands.
Yeah.
Two rock formations.
Well, I believe it to be part of a temple.
Yeah.
But this is just
the rock place, though.
When you look through it, you can see the mountain ranges beyond, and it's actually quite beautiful. But there's a very famous photo, I guess, in which it looks like this is on a lake. So you get a photo of yourself, and then there's this beautiful reflection. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that was just a little something you did in Photoshop.
Well, people are now mad because, this picture went out, and so it became a popular new destination to go take your picture at for Instagram. Mm-hmm. Well, you'd go and get there. There's no body of water in front of it. It's not as attractive looking as the pictures would make you look. So people are kind of mad that they would travel like the 4 hours, which is for most people how long it takes from the next main city area to get to this destination, and it's not at all what they thought.
Well, it's kind of a shame because it actually is quite beautiful. I mean, look at that view on the other side of these spires there.
Sure.
You're mad because there's no lake?
Well, you don't get the reflection.
Stupid.
So the picture is not like what you were probably wanting it to be.
It's really odd how the tail's wagging the dog. Photography started as a way for us to capture reality so that we could remember something. And now we're really angry that reality does not better reflect the pictures that we want to take.
Well, we talked earlier about people who were, using gifted items on Instagram and you don't realize it. And now they need to show you more when an item's provided for free. Same thing should be for pictures because people are taking creative liberties with it. One of the photos shows like the reflective pond, but there's no mountain behind it. The next one, you're like, oh, there's the mountain behind it. Like they covered it in clouds. So people are editing their photos, not just like where we change the filters, but they're adding and taking away things.
Sure. I don't know. It's weird. We talked about this last week, but it's something I keep thinking about a lot. All this technology we interact with, including photography, people, it's not
all lies.
Well, it's all lies, and it's not that old. This is not that old, and so it'll be interesting to see. Of course, we won't be alive for it, but in a couple of 100 years, do we keep going down this path, or at some point, do people start going, you know what? No, that's dangerous. We're not going to do that anymore.
Well, I remember seeing someone's photo and I thought, oh, it's so beautiful. All these hot air balloons, all this stuff. And then
it's fake.
Do a little thing. You're like, those hot air balloons were never there. It's like, that is adding way too much. Besides I think I cleared my skin and took a couple pounds off. There's a difference. I added all these hot air balloons. So travelers, just be aware if you're like, I'm going to Bali and you wanted to go to Gates of Heaven, that is something where they're wanting to make sure you realize, what does it really look like?
You know what, Nikki, let's broaden the scope. Everybody be aware that if you're traveling and you see all these great pictures, it might not actually look like that.
No, I think that's if you're following a lot of travel, vloggers and bloggers.
No, I can't. I can't afford to travel like that. Don't show me the pictures.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Over the weekend, I guess it was technically last Tuesday night, but I kept seeing more and more info about it. There is a Jim Beam bourbon warehouse in Kentucky.
The one that had the fire.
45,000 barrels of whiskey ended up either catching fire, a bunch of it dumped into the nearby river. Mm-hmm. And so there are all these fish now that are dead from the
alcohol, probably.
Yeah. So do you think, and I'm not even being sarcastic when I say this, do you think that you could grab those fish and cook them?
And it'd be like
and
bourbon?
They would taste like bourbon fish. Because I love bourbon chicken.
Yes, you do.
It's so good.
But I don't know if in the water, I feel like they'd be, and I hate using this term, but bloated. So I don't want to know if maybe.
Do fish bloat after they die, though?
I think they bloat anyways, yeah.
Well,
they're in the water. And
we know whales do.
If you've seen someone who's had a lot of alcohol, what happens? They bloat up a little.
They get bloated. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't really know. It's amazing to me. Now, let's see, what did I say? They lost 45,000 barrels of whiskey. That represents less than 1% of their.
So how many barrels do they have?
A lot of barrels.
Apparently, are they all there or just at different locations?
No, they're scattered. Nick, you don't put all your whiskey in one place.
No, that's not safe.
I mean, come on.
You got to really space it out, right?
You put some of it in Kentucky, and then you put it around, where the kids can't get at it.
So the
warehouse,
the fires
of the fish.
An adjacent warehouse caught fire. They got that under control, but then another part of it collapsed, and then that sent the barrels or whatever, the whiskey, into the local nearby water.
So the alcohol plume, as they're calling it, in the Kentucky River is now 23 miles long.
Yeah.
23 miles of riverfront that is polluted by whiskey.
But it was on fire for so long, and do you know why?
Because it's flammable.
No, they were trying to burn out the alcohol before it went in.
Is that true?
Yeah, they were trying to burn off that part of it. So they let it stay on fire for a long time to get some of the spirits out of it.
Well, Nikki, they say if you go to like TGI Fridays and you get their Jack Daniels menu, the alcohol cooks out.
Cooks most of it out.
You're just getting the flavor.
They were trying to make sure that as little went into the water as possible.
That's fascinating. Mm-hmm. That is the part of it that I did not know. So, you know what? They're down. So you can expect to see the price of bourbon shooting up. Or not. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, but they lost it there. Good for them. I don't know how long it takes to make whiskey.
In the barrel?
I don't know. I just know that sometimes I'll see somebody that's like, 10 years ago, I bought my part of this barrel, and now I'm here to collect.
I always felt like the barrel stuff was kind of a lie. Like that was just what they were saying, when really they put it in like 2 weeks ago. And
no,
it's just the barrel is aged. It's an old barrel.
Sure,
you're not lying with that, but the alcohol itself is not really.
Nikki, I saw a Sam Adams commercial once, which is a beer thing, but like
it's all the same.
They said that they care a lot. That's what they said on TV. They were like, we care so much, something beer.
Because nearby, you're like, is everybody going to, instead of drinking at the bar, they're going to the river to just go drink the river water.
Yeah, wash me in the river, Nikki.
I want to be baptized in it.
Come down to the river.
Everybody's interested in that river because of all the whiskey in it.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki and I went to a wedding last night together.
Well, you were DJing it, and I was a guest.
So we were together.
Yeah, it's weird, though. It's like when the president and the vice president are in the same location. It's like, what if something happens? The show's completely gone. So we normally try not to.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It is a thing.
So we were there last night. Now, I was there because I was working. I was there longer than everyone else. So
earlier and longer,
earlier and later. And I saw something last night that I was impressed by it. So I got to talking. There was a deputy that was wandering around.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Did you see him?
Yeah, I did.
And so I just kind of started talking to him. He's just providing security because I was like, are you directing traffic? Like, are you security? Like, what are you doing here? I was afraid to ask him if he was security because he would be like, man, I'm a deputy. We don't do.
But I think they do at venues and stuff. A lot of places require it now.
He's there. This blows my mind. He's there in case fights break out.
Because of a wedding?
Yeah.
So the venue must require it.
I guess
I bet you they do.
And I actually, he said to me, he's like, it's all a lot. How did he say it? He's like, this is a fantastic assignment until the fights break out. And I was like,
did he say that it happens a lot of weddings?
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
Isn't that wild? But here's the thing that got me is, okay, first off, the fact that you guys are having weddings that fights are so bad, an armed police officer has to break it up. The venue insists that one be there.
Which means that security at one point was not enough. You had to go to an official person.
What do Nikki and I say? If you see a sign posted somewhere, it's because somebody did it.
That means enough people did it.
They had to put a sign up. That's how bad it was getting. So things were getting so bad, they had to have a police officer come and be there.
Pretty much.
But, okay, all he's paid to do is provide security. When we were cleaning up, you know what he was doing?
What?
He was walking around helping people clean up.
Well, that was nice.
I was impressed by it. It impressed me because he didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't have to be there cleaning up. He was getting paid. He was getting everything that he needed right there. And he was there helping to clean up. Not exactly the image that you would normally think of. Because I know everybody's having an image crisis these days, but a lot of people don't care for police. But you know what? I saw that and I was just like, you know what?
Good person.
I'm impressed by that. That guy could just be standing on the wall. He's got no incentive. They are not tipping him. They do not ask him to help clean up. And he was going around helping people clean up. And I thought, that's the kind of people we should be. We should be the kind of people that, even though it's not our job, we're willing to go above and beyond and help. I thought that was cool.
That's a good thing to remember all day long.
It is. It is.
That's a good reminder we should have every day.
Yeah. Makes me want to go take a nap.
And not help up? It's supposed to motivate you.
Wait, you know what? I was just thinking about how tired I was. No.
Okay, so that's not how that's supposed to remind you that. You're supposed to be like, no, I need to go help out.
Yeah, so think about that. Even though you go past somebody, it's not your responsibility. You're not getting paid. It's not your job. You don't need to. You could still, lean in and help a little bit. Wouldn't kill you, right?
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I'll tell you, I've been very concerned about ice cream licking.
It's a problem.
It is, man. It's something that has been striking close to the heart of the Riot, and I've just been concerned. What if I would go get ice cream, and it's ice cream that was licked by someone?
Even though I don't know, so this comes from last week in Texas. The girl that it went, viral, she was licking the ice cream.
Yep.
Put it back in the thing, and they were laughing at it. I wonder, though, if someone's tampering with the food, they say that, you should notice when you open up your ice cream, it would have been already opened.
Yeah.
So I think you would hopefully have noticed that something was wrong with it, but still they weren't happy with it.
The question is, if you got ice cream and you can tell it had been open, but when you looked at it, it looked fine.
Would you still have it?
I probably would just eat it.
Then maybe we need to speak up. And then plus, you're already home by then.
Yeah, because it's like, you know what? First off, you're eating ice cream, which means you're having a moment of weakness anyway. Second, in order to fix this, you're going to have to go back to the store with a receipt and explain to them that it wasn't sealed.
But then you're the crazy person that's like, yes, it wasn't sealed when, I don't know. It would have been kind of melty, too.
Everything we're talking about is true.
Oh, it's a problem. And the bigger issue that Walmart had is, they don't want to have bad press, and they didn't want it to seem like people could easily tamper with all the food at any location.
Well, one of this location's answer has been, they said they have an armed guard now walking the ice cream aisle.
But it's a water gun.
It's a water gun. It
is in Texas. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got a water gun and a gun.
That they just don't talk about.
Right. Well, no, they just assume everybody in Texas has a gun.
You're already carrying a real gun, but now he's got a water gun for this.
It is a really great picture and a great idea. It's just one of the Walmart guys standing there with a water gun next to a bunch of ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Bonus points for how they handled that on social media. That's great. Now, in further follow-up, the girl that licked the ice cream...
what's she called? She has a title.
The Licker?
The Bluebell Licker.
The Bluebell Licker?
That's it. She was eating the tin roof flavor of Bluebell ice cream at the Lufkin Walmart in Texas.
She has been found, but there's a snag.
She's too young to tell her name.
She's under 18. So, one, we can't tell you what her name is, and two, she can't be tried as an adult for this. And so... the police are like, we don't know what's going to happen now. We have to hand it over to the juvenile court system. Yeah.
Let's get her parents involved.
Her dad shows up eating ice cream. Like, I see this is a problem.
I will take care of this.
We see where this came from right here. So
no, but the way to go to Walmart, that was a fun way to, show they're protecting the ice cream.
It was. And I better show up and find that guy there.
I don't know. I think that was just during the holiday weekend.
Oh, you think so?
But maybe not forever.
So now I can't trust. I got to go back to not trusting the ice cream.
They're hoping that you forget this ever happened.
Yeah, dude. I'll tell you this. I had some ice cream over the weekend. Yeah. Saturday. It was like 100 degrees. I went out and got myself a double scoop of Buckeye, which is a chocolate and peanut butter. And then I had them put chocolate and peanut butter syrup on it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the Riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
It almost happened. to Monday morning, so you're feeling sorry for yourself, right? You're just like, I can't believe it.
We're back to Monday.
And you're like, you're sitting there like, I can't believe I have to go to work. I mean, I'm really thankful for a job. I'm so thankful. Oh, thankful. Yay, thankful. So you get in and you check your deal of the day websites and you see potential films on sale, 4K Blu-rays maybe.
Is that what's going on today?
Oh, you're weak. You're already weak.
Well, you lost your strength over the weekend. That's where we say yes to everything.
I know. So you come back and you're supposed to start strong. And one of the worst things you can do is start your day going, today's the day I'm going to get it together. Because I feel like a declaration like that is just begging to be tested.
Well, forces will come against you.
Yeah. But you know what, Nikki? I want you to know that I've stood strong because here's what I've realized. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to say what it is.
Why? That makes it fun.
Because there is Captain Marvel. There's a movie out there that's available, blah, blah, blah. It's on sale. But then I realized, wait a minute. It's July. This is going to be on that stupid Disney thing in November I'm going to sign up for.
First off, it's not officially called Stupid Disney Thing.
It is?
It's Disney Plus.
It is. Well,
and
they can
I'm
call
sure it will be.
Disney Plus, where the plus stands for stupid. That's what it is. Yeah.
So you're passing on Captain Marvel?
Don't need it.
I know. That's great of you to realize that.
Don't need it. So
didn't they say, though, Captain Marvel will be out November on Disney Plus?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be one of the first ones.
It's like the first. It is actually the first
biggest
Disney Marvel thing that will not come to Netflix.
Correct.
The last Disney movie like that came to that will come to Netflix was Endgame. No. I'm sorry, I'm getting that wrong. Was the Infinity War was the last one. So.
Everything else goes to the, what's it called again? The stupid
Disney thing.
I can't wait for that. Yay.
Yeah, that's SDT. Careful with those initials, right? That's right.
Now I can't think of it any other way. What are you doing?
Why?
Don't name it in such a negative way.
What? Isn't that what it is?
Well, yeah, but
okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's what it is. It's the stupid Disney thing.
So no Captain Marvel then.
So I'm not going to buy it. I'm just gonna pass.
Do you feel like when you pass on that, what you would have spent, like $15 maybe, depending on what the sale is, $15 or $20, that now you feel like you're entitled to spend the $15 or $20
on
something else because you would have still spent it?
No. I mean, I get what you're saying. But not really. Don't hate me for saying this, but I did work yesterday, so I made a little extra money. And typically what I do is I save almost all of it, but I give myself a little bit.
Little sliver.
Just a little sliver, hey, you can get something, whatever. So I was looking around, I'm like, I don't want anything, forget it.
Uh-oh. What is wrong with you? Is it the heat?
Well, then you have to ask yourself, is that a bitter response?
Yeah.
I don't even want anything.
Or is it, no, I don't want anything.
I'm content.
I can't tell yet. Aaron said, wait, have we finally cured Obie's compulsive buying disorder?
Yeah, I never had compulsive buying disorder. I've never had CBD. All right, and I'm not taking CDB.
I know. Got a lot of letters going on here.
CBD oil or CDB oil? Or is it SDT?
Oh, stop
you know what? It's fine. We're just going to wrap on that.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I mean, we're into it a bit, so maybe you could argue that it's too late. But have you ever heard of Dry July?
Dry July, where you don't drink?
No alcohol during the month of July.
What's the other one? So January.
Dryuary. Something like that. In January where you go alcohol free. But that's more of I got so wasted at Christmas.
Well, it's like a New Year's resolution sort of thing.
Yeah, so you take a month off.
I can never remember because I confuse it then with all the no shave stuff in the November and the October and December.
No shave November, no alcohol January, but December is shave and drink.
There's no meat during certain ones too. So there's a lot of months where you put a name to it and you don't do something.
Well, I thought this was kind of interesting. There's a charity called the Dry July Foundation, and here's their idea. You go ahead and you take the Dry July challenge. So, nobody, no alcohol during the month of July. And then the idea is that you take the money that you would have spent on that and it goes towards quality of life stuff for cancer patients. And so that includes well, I don't know. There's a bunch of different things that they're looking for, and you could dig into it a little bit more if you wanted to see what exactly it is that they're doing. But for example, like for cancer patients that lose their hair, you'll see some that will do a wig, but sometimes they'll get a almost like a turban. I can't remember what it's called, but like it's a very comfortable hat, the headscarf, and that's one of the things that like they're aiming to provide and different things
really
like that.
cool.
It actually is really cool. And you can have people sponsor you. So, doing the 5K is too much, but
not drinking for the month.
You could take the month off from drinking and you take your money and put it towards that and then ask other people to do the same. And it all goes for this charity.
Dude, wait till you find out how much you've been spending money on liquor. So wait till you find out.
Hey, dude, that's the most, aside from charcoal water, that's the most expensive thing you could drink.
I drink charcoal water.
Oh, you do?
I do. And you're right, it is expensive.
That's more expensive than liquor.
It is.
But
You're just flushing it down. But you don't realize with drinking is you should also count like all the food you eat around it. Because when you go out and drink a lot, it's not just drinking; it's like a social thing.
Well,
so,
yeah,
like
and
the appetizers. Okay.
Once you get a couple in you, all of a sudden those fried cheese sticks don't seem so pricey.
And normally on another day you'd be like, I'm not eating that, and you do, and then you're golfing, you're doing karaoke, you're doing all these things that you wouldn't normally do, and it all counts for the money. You're saving a lot of money.
Oh, heck, man, you could take half of it and give it, and then the other half and just be like, wow, look at this.
You would be amazed at when we always say, oh, we don't have much money left. You'd be amazed what we're spending it on. And that's including my charcoal water. I understand that.
I was just using it as an
example.
Just for instance.
Juice cleanse costs money too.
Dryjuly.com.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can look into it and see what they're doing and how they're raising money, or you can do it on your own. You could even give it to another cause if that's what you wanted to do. So
good for that.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting idea. It's July 8th, but you know what? You can go
you
dry
can still
now
jump
and
in.
carry it into August if you want.
You could totally still do that.
Drogist. Doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
It doesn't, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Doesn't mean you can't do it.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no, I missed it. Do it again.
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
Oh yeah, I'm watching her.